Today's August 25th. It's about 2:35 in the afternoon. We're in the Providence City Office Building located at 164 North Gateway Drive in Providence. Members of our board, I'm Scarlett Bankhead, and to my right is Rob Stapley, and to my left is Max Pierce. Rob's our Public Works Director. Max is our City Engineer. We also have in attendance Ryan Snow, our City Manager, Ty Cameron, our City Recorder, Diane Campbell, our Land Use Specialist, and April Fredrickson, our Stormwater and Code Compliance Specialist. We've got 2 items on our agenda today. The first is a request by Visionary Homes for a new home located at 124 East, 520 North in Providence. It's a Vineyard Lot 81. And we do have Jessica with us today. Diana, if you want to come up and introduce it.
I think there's a few corrections. It's 114 East 520 North. And I think on the property address down below in the table, it says lot 80, but it's lot 81. So, this application was received August 23rd. Findings of fact, you know what they are? You got the packet.
Do I know what they are for the millionth time?
You should have
Yes.
memorized by now.
I know, right? I should just memorize and start rattling them off one day and impress you guys.
You did get the packet though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep, of course.
Conclusions of law are the same. This parcel is in a hazard water table area. The conditions, the hazard water table area will be mitigated by the window well drain, and the window well drain detail and the mitigation letter was in the packet. This conditional use is for the residents only as shown on the date plan, and its date stamped August 24th. I think yours might say August 6th. Approval by the city of any application submitted or paperwork does not alleviate the owners and/or their agents from their responsibility to understand and conform to local, state, and federal laws. Providence City approval is not intended to and cannot be construed to allow any laws to be violated.
Jessica, do you have any questions for us?
No, I
Okay,
do not.
and this is Briarwood design, right?
Yep.
Or finish, whatever. Robert, Max, do either of you have any questions?
I do not. I don't.
Okay, just for the record, Dallas Nichols did write a letter to the city in January of 2020, and that letter talking about the land drain is included in the packet, and that land drain has been in place and working for a little over a year now, I think, isn't it? So it seems to be doing the job. So far, so good. If there are no other questions, does anybody in the audience have any comments? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion, and we need to kind of correct things a little bit, I guess, to approve the conditional use request for a home located at 114 East, 520 North in Providence. And it is Vineyard Lot 81, right, Diane? So 114 East, 520 North, Lot 81. Could I get that motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Motion by Max Pierce, second by Rob Stapley. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Voting was unanimous. Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good afternoon. Okay. Our next item, we will consider for approval a request by Chris Funk Construction for Chris and Brittany Bassett, excuse me, a new home located at 1153 South, 800 East in Providence. And we have Chris Bassett with us, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
That's okay, no worries. Diane, if you want to introduce this to us.
Okay. This application was received, well, the full application was received August 18th. We had gotten the application earlier, but then we thought we might have to put it on hold for a variance, but we finished getting the site plan and everything on August 18th. Aaron Walker did his review, and we have a letter dated August 18th. Findings of fact are as listed on the staff report. Conclusions of law. This parcel indicates, the GIS parcel summary indicates that it's in a wildfire and a steep slope hazard area. Aaron Walker reviewed the parcel and submitted a letter with requirements as far as the code goes, fire code. Conditions, the applicant will mitigate hazard areas by, they sent a statement that says that they will comply with any recommendations from Aaron, the fire marshal. And we have Aaron's letter dated August 18th. We also have a site plan that shows the slope that is approximately 24%, and that is dated August 17th. This condition uses for the residents only as shown in the site plan, date stamped July 15th. Approval by the city of any submitted application or paperwork does not alleviate the owners and or their agents from their responsibility to understand and conform to local, state, and federal laws. Providence City's approval is not intended to and cannot be construed to allow any laws to be violated. So we have two site plans. We have the one that they submitted first that I stamped, and then the one that was stamped August 17th.
And the one that was on August 17th, that's the one that shows the actual slope and where it impacted and Justin verified that. Is that who verified that? Baylor. Okay. All right. Chris, did you get a copy of the packet of the report?
I believe I've got it right here.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Just really quick for the record. Aaron did do his review. He looked at the access and he says the fire department access is adequate from 800 East. So that's approved. He looked at the hydrant locations and the number of hydrants. Hydrant 461 is the nearest hydrant and is within 600 feet of all exterior areas of the proposed home. That's approved. He looked at the the fire water flow, and it says the building appears to be approximately 4,762 square feet in size. For that size and type of building, the fire flow would be 1,750 gallons per minute at 20 PSI. And fire flow requirements are subject to change due to separation of fire areas, type of construction, and the installation of a fire suppression system. Fire hydrant 461 is the nearest hydrant and is within 600 feet of all exterior areas of the proposed structure and contains a water flow of approximately 1,770 GPM at 20 PSI. He also reviewed the 2006 Utah Wildland Urban Interface Code. He talks about ignition resistant construction. He said that during a phone conversation with Baylor Gunnell of Funk Construction, Class A roof covering of asphalt shingles will be installed. So that was approved. The unenclosed underfloor protection. In the phone conversation with Baylor, all combustible underfloor decks and eaves will be covered with soffits. That's approved. And then in the same conversation, 1/8 inch mesh screen will be installed on all openings per the building code, and that was approved. In Providence City Code, we also encourage property owners to implement 5 things. 3 of the 5 are discussed in that urban wildland code. 2 of them are to inspect your property regularly, clearing dead wood and dense vegetation from at least 30 feet around your house, rake piles of leaves and twigs. If on a hill, more space will be needed to protect your home, and a fuel break should be maintained around all structures. And we also encourage people to move firewood away from the house or attachments like fences or decks. Do you have any questions about any of that, Chris?
No.
Okay, all righty. as Diane said, when she introduced this, we did think that it was going to have to look at a variance because originally it was thought that the slope was more than 30%, just looking at the parcel zoning viewer. But when they actually went out and shot it, it came in at 24. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
And 24 is in what we call our potentially developable, and it does not have quite the same restrictions that the non-developable sensitive area does, which is the 30% slope or greater. So we're able to move forward with this. Max or Rob, do you have anything you want to comment on this?
Nothing for me.
No, other than I did notice that as far as the fire flows, they were really borderline. So I would just keep that in mind when it comes to this wildfire hazard with the type of home and the size of the home, where it's only got 20 GPM logarithmic difference. That's very right on the borderline, probably closer than I've ever seen when it comes to meeting that guideline barely. And so you want to keep that in mind as you know, like fire protection mitigation strategies. Keep picking up whatever extra level you might come up with.
And then looking at your site plan, it looks like you've got plenty of room as far as your setbacks go, which is refreshing. Because a lot of times we see these and people are pushing right up against those setbacks. However, the county does go off of your measurements. So even though we only have a 10-foot setback where you're saying that you're going to be 30 feet 4 inches on the northeast corner of your lot, that's where they're going to want you to put that foundation, is where you've got it measured, not move it around all over the place. So just keep that in mind. Also make sure you have your property pins in place so that the county can measure where your house is supposed to go. Make sure you get it in the right place, especially when you're dealing with slope and some of the engineering things that you'll have to work with on this.
I have a comment on that.
April.
So it looks like
April, actually, I'm going to be picky. Will you come in?
Yep. I just want to give a word of warning because it looks like the garage is actually right on that 20-foot setback and we've had issues. In fact, I just had a house that was half an inch. Barely made it. So I just want to make sure to let you know, like measure and measure again. I actually had a house that was 18 inches over and they even did GPS for measuring. And so the guy had to fix it. So just where you're right on that setback, just double check.
Off the road.
Yeah, well, it's not the road, it's from the back of the sidewalk is where your property is. So measure 20 feet. Yeah. Like I would, before you even pour your footings, I would measure and just make sure. I've just had so many lately that are so close or are over. And it's a costly fix. So I just want to give warning on that one.
But that's why we have you find your property corners and have the pins put in so that the building inspectors can measure from those, because we can't always guarantee that sidewalk got put in right on the property line. Or, I mean, they do their best, but
I believe the pins are installed already.
they should be.
Yeah.
But just make sure you find them and like April says, make sure that you measure several times and go off of the property pins so that there's no question when it comes time for the placement of your house. We do have people that call us and let us know if they think the neighbors put their house in the wrong place. So follow your plans and you should be good. Rob, anything else you want to mention?
No, it looks like the easement that goes down to the pond is far enough south it shouldn't affect you. I know that there's water and sewer and stormwater, all that drops off that hill just to the south of it. But
For that retention pond.
correct. And on the north side of that retention pond, there's water and sewer both that go down the hill towards that park. So just be mindful of the easements that are around.
Anybody else have any comments? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the request by Chris Funk Construction for Chris and Brittany Bassett's new home located at 1153 South, 800 East in Providence. Based on the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and conditions that were presented in the staff report. Can I get that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Rob Stapley, second by Max Pierce. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Voting was unanimous. So Diane will finish up the record of decision and we'll get it signed. And then she'll contact you and let you know what your impact fees and connection fees are. You'll pay them to us and pick up that record of decision. Make sure that we send the county a copy, but make sure you get the county a copy of the correct site plan so that when they go to measure, they're working on the same thing. One other thing to let you know, where this is a conditional use lot, if you decide to do any retaining walls that are going to require a building permit or anything else, a detached building of any type, you're going to have to come and see us again unless our ordinance changes. But the way it is today, you'll have to come and see us again. So you can't really just do add-ons when it's a conditional use. I don't think I have anything else. So thanks everybody for your attendance, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion by Max Pierce, second by Rob Stapley. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. Our meeting is adjourned at 2:53.